Hi guys, XtraTalk. We have Ajax, we have Papimento, and we have Sahbi with us. Guys, first game of the season, Johan Cruijffschaal, Sahbi and Ajax. You guys talked about it over the weekend. Just want to go quickly again about this game. I want the opinions of all three of you. Key takeaways for you. How did you experience that game? Now that you're thinking about it, a couple of days after, maybe different perspectives, insights, things you want to share with us and the viewers. I'll go with Papimento first.
I didn't expect that game, to be honest. We were a weekend away with the family, so couldn't fully watch it. But yeah, the scoreline says it all, I would say. Great 3 goals, but also very delicate in the counterattack and defensive part of everything we're doing. So I think we don't have our team yet, but I feel hopeful for what's coming because we do have an amazing front line, I must say.
So you're not very negative about what happened on Saturday. You're okay with it. I mean,
no. I mean, we got beat.
It was an opportunity for you to see how where the team stands, basically.
I mean, look, Juan. There are certain things that I wouldn't do, like playing Blind left central back. Those things I would rather see Bassi there and Blind on the left back, for instance. But you know, Bassi now with the red card, missing 2 games, and we are already weak on the defensive side of things. Yeah, it doesn't feel ready yet. It doesn't feel like we have a team yet. But do I conclude a lot of things towards this match? No, because last year we got beaten as well, and then we got our revenge during the season. So there's unbelievably amount of talent in this team. I just think it's going to take a while for everything to gel because so many players have left us, and that's going to take a while to achieve those levels again.
So Papimento is a little bit more patient, more than usual.
More than usual. A little bit. Poquito.
A little bit. Sahbi, I will go with you. Your takeaways. I mean, you talked about it, of course, with Ajax. You talked about what you think or what you thought about the game. Any other things you want to mention, maybe looking back at the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, there are still there's so many key takeaways that we can take along. The attacking lineup, something that we can really do damage towards our opponents. I mean, I'm really impressed. We did quite well in attack, especially in the first 30 minutes, and that's without even Anthony being that available, that active in the wing position. So I think if all 3 are in form, man, I think we're going to see some fireworks. Other key takeaway is, of course, the problem that we still have in comparison with last season is that we're still vulnerable in transition, and it's still early for Schreuder to find a clear solution on this, but he really needs to focus on this primarily because this is the biggest problem at this moment, besides the weakest link on within the right back position, which is another key takeaway. Transition, that should be the key word. He really needs to gel in the team. He really needs to focus on that specific part, because if that has been solved, if that part has been solved, oh man, we have such a great squad.
How much confidence do you have that Schreuder will be able to resolve this? Do you think the fact that we're seeing us being vulnerable in transition has to do maybe with fitness level, or maybe with tactics, or maybe with the players have to, like Papimento say, gel a little bit, understand each other better?
Yeah, I think the last part indeed. So I do agree with Papimento on this, but we need to understand that in comparison with last year, we are more attacking minded. At least we have more attacking minded players up front, with Bergwijn, with Tadic, and with Anthony. Hopefully with Kudus as well, and Berghuis. It's quite attacking minded. So it's going to be difficult to solve the transition part, but if they all get to gel, if they all try to help each other out, it shouldn't be a big problem. I mean, we should all attack and we should all defend. So it's all up to Schreuder, and I hope for him it will gel, but we'll just have to wait. for that. Yeah.
I just want to add to that I didn't say this, but the ease in which they could head the ball in our area was also frustrating to me. Like for me, like getting a goal against from Luc de Jong and Guus Til, that's like the worst thing that could happen. That says the level of your defense. And if with that ease they can score, then something is not right in that duo. So that has to change for me. That's number one.
Yeah. So you don't rate Guus Til and Luc de Jong. That's what you're saying.
They shouldn't be scoring against us. That's for sure.
Yeah, Luc didn't score.
Not three.
Luc didn't score.
No,
but those two are not players that are allowed to score. That's what I mean.
But that was actually my last key takeaway. Like our central defense is so weak in aerial duels. So my take is that Bessie should play eventually in central defense to compensate that, to bring in that physique a bit, to bring back that aggressiveness, and also winning those aerial duels. So it might be that Blind will play as left back or even next to Alvarez in certain games.
I have two questions for you, Sabi, before I go to Ajax. You mentioned a couple of players that are attacking minded. Would you add also, because I don't think you mentioned him, would you say that Taylor is more attacking minded than Gravenberch last season?
He plays more attacking minded because he is more in the penalty area than Gravenberch is. Than Gravenberch was last season. So I think maybe it's a tactical thing, but normally he can easily be more of a controlling midfielder if possible. But indeed, in these last games, we saw Taylor a bit more in the 16-yard box more often than Gravenberch.
Yeah, and about Bessie, you said that we will have more physical presence in the defense, in the center defense, and maybe he can head the ball also. As far as I know, but we will have guests soon to talk about Bessie more in detail. I don't think heading is his strongest asset either. So we should be careful about managing this expectation with him as well. He looks big and everything, but I don't know if his heading is that good.
Yeah, I didn't see the game against Almere, but from what I've read is that he was capable of winning those duels. So, and I know Almere is a second-tier club, but
be careful.
Yeah, I know, guys. Sorry, but he's able to win those duels. So
if you compare him with Blind,
I mean, Blind is if you compare everybody with Blind, everybody would win those aerial duels, which Blind has lost, because he's quite bad in heading in duels.
Yeah. Okay. Clear. Ajax. Sorry, it took a little bit long time to come to you, but not least, of course. Any other things for you? Takeaways? Maybe the guys already mentioned a couple things you already have, but you were hosting last time. Maybe you have a different opinion. You want to share something with us?
I was waiting longer than 10 minutes, man, because I couldn't talk when I was hosting also, but no worries. There are a lot of key takeaways that the guys already mentioned. And for me, Rensch just too poor to play as a right defender for us, so as a right back. He's young, but he's not nearly at the level that is necessary for our team, to be honest. Especially if we're vulnerable in the rest defense and in the central area of the defense, we have to have good fullbacks. Wijndal did great offensively, but he was very fragile in the defensive part, so he needs to improve in that area for sure. He gave 2 assists, but the defensive part is also very important. The way he got beaten by Guus Til, that first goal, didn't look good. The keeper was, I don't want to bash him, but he was poor. Very poor. You cannot win a match if your keeper makes that kind of mistakes. The second goal, if you come out from your line, you have to have that ball. He almost punched Blind knockout. The third goal when he got that shot from distance, the way he was not able to save it, and Gakpo could flick it in. It's just bad. So. For me, Pasveer next time, please. And I know he deserves another chance, but let him train hard and gain that chance again, because you also need steadiness now in the defense, because we have too many positions now that are not that strong at the moment. Also, Blind is going to play left central defender for the coming 2 matches. I'm sure of that, because Bessie is has a suspension. Berghuis, he was a ghost. He worked hard, but no any more excuses for me to not play Kudus next game, because he's been terrific in the preseason. He was terrific when he came in. He scored a beautiful goal. You can see he can actually make an action, you know, pass a few players and create something himself without having to combine, you know. So for me, Kudus should be in from now on. At least should get a chance for a few matches to prove if he can take this further, you know, this form that he has at the moment. Offensively, very, very attractive, and I think we can do a lot in that area. But defensively, it's giving me a headache, because it's not stable at all.
Yeah, clear. I have a couple of questions to you guys. Maybe it was touched already, but I just want everybody to react on these, and then we will move to the next subject. It's about still the game on Saturday. You guys, you touched upon Ranch, right? One of the things was in the transfer window, a lot of fans were saying Ranch alone, based on last season, is not enough. But we were receiving also feedback from Ajax, from the coach, etc. Like, he deserves a chance. We have to see, etc., etc. I heard, of course, Sahbi talking on Saturday about Gorter, that he blew it. He failed his test, basically. Would you also say that the Ranch in the preseason has failed to reassure the fans and the Ajax coach that he can be that right back, that he can take over from Mazraoui? Or are you more of the opinion like, I'm still 50-50 on this, but we shouldn't take any risk. We should get a reinforcement. So, Sahbi, let me go with you first.
I go for the latter part. I mean, it's 50-50. He's poor. We all know in preseason he wasn't that well. He was quite horrible in the last game, but we have to take into account he played against Gakpo, who is not he's not a small player. He's a player who is very talented, and he's good, just to be clear. So yeah, he did wrong. He did bad, but he does. Yeah, it doesn't mean that he shouldn't get a chance. But I do agree that we definitely need a new right back, that can compete with him, that has that little bit of extra in comparison with him. And from that perspective, he should know that he needs to work harder. He needs to learn better. He needs to develop a bit more to be that starting player that we all want to see in him. I mean, 2 years ago, he was terrific. What happened in between? Is it because of the injuries? Is it because of the self-confidence? We don't know, but the talent is available, is there. So perhaps we need a new right back to make sure that he can cope with that level that the new right back should have as well.
Yeah. Would you guys consider, maybe I'm going a little bit stretching here a little bit, but would you consider maybe Regeer? Is Ranch that much better than Regeer on the right back position?
The fact, Juan, that you are comparing them says enough that you do not think they're both ready, because I do not see Regeer being a lot better than Ranch. And to be honest, defensively he's been poor, but offensively he's been poor also, because Anthony had a lot of backup from Mazraoui. It was a great tandem, and that is a big part why Anthony could shine also, because they had great chemistry together. I do not see that at all with them. So if he's playing, Anthony will have more of a rough time also, because he has his hands full with his defensive part, with his defensive load that he needs to take care of. I cannot see him also bringing that offensive load, besides all the focus that he needs to do his defensive part right at the moment. So it's a double-edged sword for me.
Yeah, because one more thing I want to add also, Sahbi said on Saturday that he was disappointed about the right side, and he was also mentioning not only Ranch, but also Anthony. Anthony was not helping out Ranch all the time defensively, so Ranch had to choose sometimes, or he was exposed. Do you still stand by this, Sahbi, by this statement?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he didn't help Ranch indeed, but that's beside the fact that Ranch wasn't good as well. I mean, he had to stay really tight to Gakpo, not give him that space. That had nothing to do with with Anthony helping him out. Anthony should have been there for him to maybe assist him on that, but one-on-one, he had to be more tight.
Okay, clear. So moving away from Wrench, I just want to touch a little bit. You already said it, Ajax, but I want to give it to Papimento. Gorter, Papimento. What's your take on Gorter? Because it's very complicated right now. You can switch everybody in the team, and they have a chance of coming back, rotation, these kind of things. Goalkeeper is a little bit more delicate, and also he's a young goalkeeper. He was waiting for his chance already. Came to Ajax, had to go to young Ajax, all these kind of things. What should we do with him? Because clearly he didn't really prove that he's ready, or he's at the same level at least as Pasveer. So what should we do now with him? Should we also let him go again one more year, young Ajax, third goalkeeper, etc.?
Yeah, I would do that. I haven't given up faith on Gorter yet. I think he will still get a chance. I mean, on the ball, it's still levels above any keeper I know. So in that area, he's already unique. I think the other stuff he can develop. Onana also didn't start with the best games at Ajax when he started. So I think he will get his chance. This will be a kick in the ass for him to know, like, okay, I need to get to work. I need to be put in the work, get tougher, get harder, and maybe you'll get your chance soon. But this was also a wake-up call for him, knowing that he's not ready yet, and there's enough for him to still work on.
Yeah. Anyone wants to add to that about Gorter?
I think he definitely deserves a chance, but to be honest, I would play Pasveer next games, and I will explain why. We have so many difficulties within the defense at the moment. Wijndal is in a new position; he needs to gel in. Blind will have to play central defender because Bessie is suspended. Wrench is not playing the way we hope that he would have played. So there are in the defense last year, I would say give him another chance because it was more stable and the players that were playing know what to do in the match, and more experience there. With all the situations that we have now at the moment, I would say go for Pasveer because he brings more of a, how do you say it? He's more stable. You can rely on him more, and this is necessary with all the other positions that aren't clicking at the moment. So this is why I would choose for Pasveer, but maybe when we're further up in the season and he perhaps gets a chance in a team that is more gelled together already, it may be a better situation for him.
I want to ask you. You can react. I also want to ask you one thing, Sahbi. Some people are already, comparing him a little bit with Scherpen. Would you say this is a little bit the same case, or would you say no? They're not the same. I have more faith in Gorter.
No, I do have more faith in Gorter, definitely. I mean, he blew up his chance. That's clear because I don't see him playing the next game against Fortuna. I do see him as a potential first-team keeper in the future. That no doubt about that. My view is he should get his chance by playing the cup games, for example. That would be definitely a good option to gain more experience and to play against the better teams when we advance to the next rounds, and keep on playing him even in the final when we reach that part. So keep playing him, and of course young Ajax. That will boost his confidence. And I just want to add Pasveer because I agree with Ajax. Pasveer will be the one who will start, and I really like him because of his coaching style. I mean, as Ajax said, there are a lot of changes in defense, and he has that specific thing whereby he can coach very well. He knows how to drill those defense. He knows exactly what to do, and this is something that we currently need at the moment because our defense is playing like shit at this moment. So we need a coach behind a coach on the pitch, and that's what Pasveer actually is. And I, by the way, really liked how he was comforting Gorter after the game, trying to give him that confidence boost. Because I know Pasveer probably had the same thing in the past when he was younger. So it's good that he has some sort of a father figure next to him.
Yeah, I just wanted to add about Gorter. You know, we're comparing Pasveer, who is a veteran, with Gorter that's still very early in the stages of his career. So I just want to. I don't like writing people off too easily. Mazraoui took a while before he became the amazing right back he was for us in the last couple of seasons, but it didn't come overnight. And you will have some players like that that need time before they get to the level we expect of them. But we still need to give them chances, Juan, because having only veterans and not giving them any chances won't boost their confidence whatsoever.
Yeah, all right. No, that makes sense to me. Moving to the next subject, guys. So we had the Johan Cruijffschaal. We're moving now to the first Eredivisie game. We will play Fortuna on Saturday. I think Joost was the one. We all know Joost, of course, in the comment section. Big up to Joost, by the way. He was actually, I came up with the idea because he mentioned last time, too bad we didn't come up with the best 11 or the starting 11. So this is the question basically that I want to ask you. For this Fortuna Sittard game, what would be your starting 11? And just reminding you that Bassi is suspended and Alvarez is suspended as well for this game.
Alvarez is suspended?
Yeah, he picked up a yellow card in last season's match, and he is now suspended. So
shit, this I didn't know, man.
No worries, no worries. You can brainstorm it right now, so it's okay. Yeah, so I will go with Sahbi first, and then Papimento, and I will give Ajax a little bit more time to think about the solution for Edson.
You can just copy my lineup.
Yeah, I will do that.
Now, I would start with Pasveer just because of the reasons that I just mentioned. I would start. I would as right back. I would put Rensch. Keeping Rensch. So if he can't perform against Fortuna, then he shouldn't be an Ajax player. Then there's no reason for him to be an Ajax player.
But Papimento just said we cannot judge players on just a couple of games, bro.
Yeah, but
Rensch had more than just a couple of games.
Right.
Okay, so
I'm trying to poke him, bro. I'm trying to poke him.
No. He's
agendas, bro. Agenda.
He's with me. He's with me on this.
Right.
Now, and then I would play with the same three at the back: Timber, Blind, Vandal, clear. In front of defense, since Alvarez is not there, I have already opted for Taylor to take that role, especially against Fortuna. This shouldn't be really a big issue. I would play with Berghuis on the number 8 position and Kudus on the number 10 position, and of course the three of course that are known: Anthony, Tadic, and Bergwijn.
Yeah. One quick question, we didn't touch upon that. What did you guys think of Tadic's performance in Johan Cruijffschaal playing as a center forward? Sahbi.
In the first half, he did quite well. His link-up play was good, especially in the first 30-35 minutes. In the second half, he was invisible. We didn't see him that much, so that was a bit terrible. I wouldn't have minded to see him substituted, but okay, we all know the coaches. They don't like to substitute captains, let alone Tadic. So yeah, he stood where he was, and yeah, what can I say? We all know Tadic. He can score from a glimpse. He can have an assist, but yeah, it was two different halves.
Yeah, so it's not a question for you. You will play him as a center forward.
Yeah, he will start with him as a center forward, definitely. 100.
Okay, Papimento. Any difference in terms of the starting 11, or do you have more or less the same as Sahbi?
Yeah, well, I just want to say, I think because we're playing Fortuna, it's going to be a defensive block in front of goal. And just for that reason, I think Klaassen might be on the 10 a different... the player we need to get those difficult goals in that he's known for.
Wait,
because I don't see Berghuis doing well there. I don't see Kudus doing well there.
Wait,
and then
just a moment.
Are you sick?
Yeah, hold on. Are you saying that Klaassen should play against Fortuna Sittard? You are saying that Klaassen should play against Fortuna Sittard.
Look, if you look at the goal from Kudus, for instance, against PSV, he around the box he had time to do his moves and shoot. Right? I don't think that's the time you're going to get against Fortuna on the 16-yard line. So I think it's going to be more congested. It has to be more coming from crosses into the box. So that's why I think Klaassen would do better. Not that I like it, but that's the only option that can give us what we need.
Okay, so talk about your lineup.
Yeah, so basically, Pasveer, the goalie is the same. In the back line, I wouldn't change anything. Rensch can prove himself again, and let's hope for a better level. Yeah, I'm not happy with Blind, but to be honest, we don't have any other options on there. So what do you want me to choose differently?
You still have Lisandro, the other goat.
No. Okay, we continue. Yeah, so maybe a midfield with Taylor, Berghuis, Klaassen, or Taylor, Kudus, Klaassen. It's going to be very attacking. I will keep the front line, by the way, the same. So Tadic, Bergwijn, and Anthony. It's kind of attacking, but we're playing Fortuna, and I think that should be sufficient to get enough goals to outscore the opponent. So
okay, so you're basically the only difference is you think Klaassen would be a better match to play against Fortuna, a better player.
Because we're playing Tadic, and Tadic is not the target man we know. So yeah, maybe Klaassen can take some of that load running into the box. That's the only thing. Like,
okay,
that's the only reason I would choose him. Yeah.
All right, Ajax. Did you find your solution for that midfield without Edson?
I'm going to change it up a bit. Joost, thank you for the question. I will not put in 12 players like you do usually. So here's my 11. We have Pasveer and the same back line as the guys. So not too much difference there. But I will change it up in the midfield a bit. I will play with the point to the back instead of point to the front. So with one pivot in front of the defense and two pivots behind the attack.
Okay.
My only pivot in front of defense will be Taylor in this case. It's the most logical solution for me. I will play Kudus and Tadic as both pivots behind the attack. And for Kudus, I want him to bridge the gap between Taylor and the attack, because I think he has the engine for it, the running capabilities, and he also is a threat for the offense, for the combination football and for penetrating the box. So I would play with both of them on those positions because I want to play Robbie on the striker position. And yeah, the flanks we know, Anthony and Bergwijn. I think we can get away with that against Fortuna because we will play a lot in their half. And I can see in Kudus somebody who is press resistant also. So he has to be careful not to go too deep. And also help out Taylor a bit in a defensive load. I can see us do well in this formation.
All right, clear. Nice solutions, nice options. Let's see how it goes. I think honestly it's going to be a tricky game. It's Fortuna away, I guess. So I don't know. Let's see. It's the first game, always tricky. But we need 3 points, guys, because I have a feeling, honestly, that PSV might be competing with us again, just similar to last season.
What's your view? What's your view on the lineup?
Good question. I didn't prepare for this one. So okay, so Pasveer goalkeeper. I would keep the same backline, to be honest. No changes there. Midfield is interesting. I agree with playing Taylor as maybe the 6. I would play Berghuis honestly as an 8, and I would play Kudus as a 10. And then just like Sahbi, the same front line. So I will play Anthony on the right, Bergwijn on the left, and Tadic as a center forward. And Robbie would be then the one that can force something if we need it. So you always have something, that you can force something. I think that makes more sense to me. But yeah, it's more or less a little bit the same as what you guys said, to be honest.
That's you know ball.
Thank you, bro.
Also because of the lack of options, right?
After 3 years, huh? Sorry.
Also because of the lack of options, especially in the back line, I would say.
But aren't you guys thinking like sacrificing another player as a defensive pivot in this game? Isn't it like a waste of a player? That's why I'm opting with the point to the back, because you have another player to help out in a crowded place at their half. Don't you think? I
honestly think that we will play like that, like you were saying. So in practice, you will see that offensively, we will play like that. Not only that, I also think that in terms of our pressing, that Schreuder wants us to play like that we can recuperate the ball quickly on their half, because that will be, I think that will be the most important thing. If we can successfully do that and regain the ball and keep pressuring Fortuna, they will crack eventually. So they will score.
And Schreuder always changed positions during the game. So we saw that against PSV. So I assume we will see that as well against Fortuna.
I actually thought for one moment while I was thinking on the formation that we could also try Timber as a pivot in front of the defense, but it would be too much of a switch up with all the things happening already, because Blind and Schuurs can be an option also in this game, and Timber has that ability to run and to dribble and to give great passes and do this defensive load also. But I think in this game with the defense how it is, it's too much of a risk. But I can see him having some talent on that position also.
Go ahead.
Now, if Yilmaz, their star player, will start for them.
No, he doesn't start.
No, I know, no. That's what I'm saying. If he would start,
Schuurs.
then Schuurs will probably be something that might be helpful in Timber on the 6th position, because he's not that fast, and with Blind and Schuurs also not really that fastest players, it may work, but for now I don't see it happening. Even though Yilmaz will not start.
Might be a good option, Timber on 6. The only thing I thought of for Timber was maybe taking the right back position and put Schuurs next to him. But
I thought also
6 is not bad at all.
Do you guys think that with that defensive line, so just looking at the 3 players, right? So forget the backs, the right back, the left back. If we look at Blind, Timber, Taylor in front, would that be good enough to stop? I mean, I don't think they will have a lot of transition moments, but you never know. But that will be sufficient to stop them eventually? Or are you guys a little bit hesitant about that?
I'm always hesitant.
Because we already said that the transition, Papimento mentioned that, it's a worry. It's an Ajax thing.
I'm always hesitant. I'm always hesitant if Blind plays central defender. So I'm not trying to like bash him, but it is a liability, especially within transitional defense and counters. So we will just have to wait and see. We should just score the goal early on, press, be dominant, and then you can get away with a counter attack, with a goal, because you outscore them. But if it will be another one of those games that you are still at the stalemate score at the 17th minute, then you will have a problem, because if they counter like Utrecht, for example, did last season, 1 chance, 1 goal, these things happen, and you do not have the buffer to cope with it. So let's just score fast.
Yeah, clear.
And did you guys read about the new right back, Club America, Jorge Sanchez?
Jorge Sanchez? Yeah.
So what are your Mexican connections telling you, Juan?
Yeah, Juan.
We will
did I tell you Juan on Juan, or?
No. Honestly, there are a little bit of mixed opinions about him. So it will be interesting, but we're planning on getting some Mexicans and fans to talk about Jorge once he signs with us. Of course.
Your essays.
No. Let's not start about that. All right, guys. Final thing I want to mention. It will be a quick video today. So the season will start, the Eredivisie will start. Soon we will have the Champions League draw and all these kind of things. We did this on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, but I want your opinion also on YouTube for the viewers, and maybe the viewers can say what they think as well. Your predictions. So I want from all of you, and I will start with Ajax. I want to know how many points will we have this season in the Eredivisie? Will we become champions? What we will do in Europe? It's a bit hard because we don't know the opponents yet, but still, your prediction. Who will be the goal scorer of Ajax? Who will be the assist leader? Who will be the MVP? And who will have the breakout this season? Which player will make his star?
The points thing is new for me, Juan, because we didn't have to do that on Twitter. So
I'm sorry?
The points thing is new for me because we didn't have to do that on Twitter. So I will think about it a little bit and answer that last.
Okay.
Will we become champions? Yes. The top scorer for me will be Brobbey. Top assist leader will be the captain, Tadic. 15 clean sheets for me. Breakout season.
I didn't even mention that. Good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
15 clean sheets for me. Breakout season, Kudus for me. And I said before, but I was a little bit euphoric still a few weeks ago that we would reach the semi in the UCL. So I will alter that a bit and just go for passing the group stage, maybe quarterfinals, because my confidence dipped a little bit with the current situation defensively. And most valuable player of the season for me will be Tadic, I think. So
when you thought that we will reach the semifinals, was that when we still had Lisandro Martinez?
I believe so. Yeah. So I think this will be it, and it depends also how many time Robbie will get and how many places he will get in the first 11 starting. Because if he just is being brought as a target man, my prediction will fall. Will not go through.
Of course. So I know you like quick math, so come up with the points, bro.
So you'll have like 9. You can get 102 points.
We had 86 points last season, right?
83.
Oh, 83. Okay, fine.
And we can get a total of 102, right?
Yes.
Okay,
so if you lose 4, for example, it's 90. Few draws. Let's say 86.
86 points. All right. Yeah. Okay, good. Papimento, your turn.
Yeah, I will go for 84 points. Who will be champions? Assist leader, our captain has to be. I think our top scorer will be Bergwijn, Mountain Wine, as Sabi says.
We're not allowed to say Mountain Wine anymore.
No, it's not fun anymore. Okay, no more Mountain Wine.
Because of counts.
Go. Clean sheets. I said on Twitter 8, but maybe I'll go up 12 when Pasveer is back. It might be better. But the team is not gelled yet, so I'm having doubts, and our backline is still the worst part of our team, so it needs to be worked on. And what else? What am I missing, Juan?
Breakout season.
Breakout season. Yeah, I was discussing this with Juan. Like you could interpret this in different ways. So I would say breakout season for the people that are on the bench. I would say kudos, but breakout season for the people I see getting to the next level from young Ajax. I've been really impressed with Vos, so I'm gonna go with Vos, baby.
Maybe a bit early for that.
Yeah, I think
so. But he's talented, man. He's talented. I mean, he's in a position that.
I agree,
so I'm gonna go.
I agree, but the midfield
breakout for him would be maybe sitting on the bench with the first team. You know, that would be his breakout then. You know,
right. Did Ajax? Did you mention your MVP?
Yeah, Tadic.
How about you?
And my MVP will be Anthony.
Okay. And what will we do in Europe?
I said on Twitter I'm gonna stick to it. I think third in the group phase and Europa League far.
So actually, your pessimistic view helps you out now, right? Because you said that like way back, and now we're not performing that well. The first game.
But we're starting the new season, Ajax, and I don't feel the back line is set yet. So whatever, maybe people come in, and my whole way of thinking will change after I see them play. But for now, what I've seen at the Johan Cruyff Schaal Shield, whatever you want to call it, it was really bad in the counter-attack moments. And we lost a lot of grinta this summer. So I hope some of it comes back for sure.
Yeah. And when you say far in the Europa League, you mean what exactly? You have to be a bit more specific.
Yeah, semifinals, quarterfinals, something like that.
Or finals, or maybe winners.
Or finals, yeah, maybe, depending on...
No, seriously.
But it depends on the form we get. But
maybe we get knocked out at the first round after the group.
What do you think?
Ajax being sarcastic now. Ajax being sarcastic.
Yeah, he is, but we have such a good attack, but I just feel it doesn't match our back line yet. So that's why I'm not fully convinced we will manage to secure our spot in Champions League this season. But I'm hoping I'm wrong, though, Juan.
Would you say minimum quarterfinals Europa League? Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Clear. Sahbi, your turn. Let's go.
My turn. Well, quite easy for me. Top goal scorer,
Tadic. Okay.
Top assist leader, Tadic.
Okay.
Somebody is Tadic fan?
15 clean
No, I
sheets
mean,
by Tadic.
MVP, Tadic.
Wow.
Breakout season, Taylor.
Hey, you got me there, bro.
A clean sheets. I'm thinking about. At first thought about 13, but when I saw their play, I'm changing it a bit to 11.
Okay.
The score lines will be really big. I mean, we will win games, but not with 3-0 or 4-0, but it will be 4-2, 5-2, those kind of score lines I'm predicting, because our backline is just not that gelled yet. The points. I was thinking about 88 points. So quite confident about that. And the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Optimistic about it as well.
Confident.
So hold on. You think we will have 11 clean sheets, but we will have 88 points?
Yeah, you can still win, right?
I know, but that means like 23 of them we will concede.
No, but I think Sahbi already mentioned it. He thinks we will concede a couple of goals, but we will outscore them.
Like
Okay.
4-2, the 5-3, like a 3-1. So we
like
will
a 2-1
concede
or-
we will concede a goal, but we will outscore them because of our terrific forwards.
3-2, 6-4.
0-0.
Ajax
Bro.
is feeling very funny today.
Ajax is laughing, but we got our 5 goals against in one match. So I don't know.
You can see, yeah.
Yeah, but we got 4 goals against us last season, and then
Yeah,
we
but
got
we
like
haven't-
two goals until the winter.
That
break
was
or
with a
something.
red card, Ajax. With a
I
red
know,
card.
but
Okay.
this
Okay.
time we had a red card also.
With a red card as well.
Yeah,
So-
but
Yeah, late.
at the
Yeah,
end-
okay.
I don't
We
know
don't
what
have
game.
Martinez.
What game did he watch? He thought Luke De Jong scored.
No, but he
and it was 11
out-
players.
No, but he was on a family weekend,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he
yeah,
watched
yeah,
a little bit, not the whole thing.
Bro, we're missing
But-
Martinez.
Yeah, that's true.
Period.
But Juan, last year when we got to 10 man, even then we were dominating PSV in certain moments of
played
that
well.
game. We didn't see that this time. We really fell apart.
first half,
after
no,
the
No,
but
red-
first half, man. First 30 minutes.
No,
we
after
were
the red card, I
dominating.
mean. After the red card.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
still playing our best game after the red card last year.
Let me ask you something, right? Because we're talking, you guys mentioned already what we saw with the Johan Cruijffschaal, right? And we have a little bit of preseason on the back of our mind. We talked about the first starting 11 against Fortuna, and we talked about the season prediction. So basically, my final question, and I know it's hard because, as Papimento said, players have to gel in, all these kind of things. But do you guys think, right, that this team can be at the same level as last season, or maybe reach that same level? I want just a yes or no, and maybe if you want to elaborate one sentence, that's it. Sahbi.
No, because of too many changes and a new coach. It takes time.
Okay, and we will not get to that level in this season, according to you.
No, maybe perhaps for a bit at the end, but I think we need to focus on next season. We will do well, but I don't think we will reach the same level as last season's.
Okay. Ajax.
Yeah, we did well last season, but we didn't reach far in Europe. So we had an amazing group stage. So I will say yes, we can reach the same level because we didn't go that far, and it was close until the end with the competition. So yes, but all has to do with Erik ten Hag. We will see how good Erik ten Hag really was. Because a lot of us were like, okay, a new breeze within the squad, a new coach, a new philosophy maybe, but Erik ten Hag, we will see how good he was because he put out, he made the utmost of it every time. So you have
one sentence, Ajax. One sentence.
Sorry, I always have large sentences. So
yeah, no, I wanna add to that you're making a good point because everybody knows that Ten Hag did very well. But one of the things that will always stick with Ten Hag is, but when Ten Hag came to Ajax, we started spending money. And all the coaches before that didn't have that luxury that he had. So now with Schreuder, we're seeing that he has been getting expensive players. For Ajax standards, very expensive players. So now we have to see exactly what you're saying. Can Schreuder meet that challenge as well in terms of...
And also, Juan, like the youth that came through under Ten Hag, he came at a period with Frankie de Jong, De Ligt, and then Timber. those are pretty world-class youth coming through the system. Gravenberg as well, yeah. And he had also the luxury, you know, people like Tagliafico, Noes, Ziyech. There were players that were playing for a long time with Ajax. Most of them are gone. Now it's mostly a new team. So it's going to be hard for any new coach, no matter how much you spend.
But we still have Blind and Tadic.
Yeah, but that's what I want to say. Those are getting so old now. So it's more difficult to be a presence like they were in their a little bit younger years, for example. But especially with Blind, I can see Tadic do well again this season. But Blind, he's in decline, in my opinion.
All right. So will we do better? I don't think so. I think the competition in the league is going to be very close with PSV, and but we will win it, I hope. And the Champions League, yeah, as I said, I think we're going into Europa League. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a better season than last year. A rebuild season, maybe.
But hold on, guys. We only became champion last season. You know, if we win the cup and we become champions, even if it's with lower points, we still do better than last year. So let's not over-exaggerate what we performed last year. Yes, we did very well in the group stage in the Champions League with beautiful football and great results. But in trophy-wise and the way we ended in Europe, we didn't reach that far. No. We didn't get that many trophies. So trophy-wise, we can still outperform. In Europe, we can still outperform. It doesn't have to be like by far, but...
Now, I see it as... I was mainly talking about the way we should play football, like the way the team gelled, the automation between the players, the way we play with each other. I think that's something that we will not see.
No, I agree with you, but that's not how I interpreted the question. I interpreted where we do better. And
the thing is, it's linked with each other, right? My initial question was, can we reach that level in terms of football? But at the same time, we reached a certain level in the first half of the last season, not only Europe, but also domestically. But then in the second half, we saw basically falling apart a little bit. And my question is, can we reach the level throughout the season in terms of what we achieved last season? That's basically what you answered, Ajax. So you can look at it both ways, but I think it's linked with each other as well. So maybe
we will not reach the same level of football that we peaked last season, but I think we can outperform, like in trophies and how far we maybe reach in Europe.
Yeah, and Juan, I also see it as, you know, our team changed. Like last year, I would say our defense and midfield were the strongest assets of our team, and our offense was okay with Tadic, Haller, and Anthony. Now I feel we have a superpower up front, but the midfield and defense is not the level that it was last year. So that's going to take a while to work on, to get everything gelled and work properly again. But please don't forget that the first half of the season, we almost didn't get any goals against. That's an achievement on its own.
Definitely.
Yeah, didn't concede many goals. That's true. That's true. All right. Any final words from any one of you? Maybe to the viewers, or maybe to the Ajax players going into the season?
Good luck, Ajax players. We're counting on you. We're counting on you. We're counting on you also, XtraTalk. But Juan, we have a lot of time left, and I have the feeling you want to get away with it without giving your predictions. So I don't know what the guys thinks, but you always ask us everything. But for the record, I want to see what your predictions are, so we can tell you if you were wrong at the end of the season.
Sure, bro. Sure. So you want me to go with the predictions, you mean?
Yes, of course.
All right. So you guys have to help me out a little bit. Yeah. The points, okay. I will say 82 points, champions. We will win the Europa League.
Whoa.
Yes, I said it on Twitter. I really think we can win the Europa League. So I will stick with that.
Top goal scorer?
Top goal scorer. I don't remember what I said, but I think it will be Bergwijn, goal scorer. I think the assist leader will be Tadic. I think we will have, I said 13 clean sheets, I believe. Something like that.
Breakout season?
Breakout season will be Kudus.
Most valuable player?
Most valuable player will be Bergwijn.
Okay, and I want to add one little question, just like the points you did. Talent of the season?
Talent of the season? I will say Ihatara. Ihatare is
all
going to
right,
show us what he's made of. I was really impressed. I mean, before everything happened, I was really impressed in the preseason. I think this guy has amazing potential, really. Honestly, I mean, you cannot compare. I think he has more potential than, if everything fits, of course, than Conceição. So
he didn't even get assigned a number, by the way, Juan. What's your opinion on that?
yeah, look, there are a couple of things they're not telling us, obviously. And today, so we're recording a day before. So today there was an official statement by Ajax saying that he's now training individually, and next week they will start talking about the next steps. I honestly think, my feeling, of course, I don't have any sources or anything like that, but I think Ihatare should be his last thing, basically. And if not, Ajax will just say goodbye to him. And I don't want him, not for us, but also not for him, because I think it will be a waste, honestly, for him. He's so talented, man. It's incredible.
Yeah. He's incredibly talented.
He needs to focus on football.
Yeah, but I just don't understand why he would train the whole summer. And if he had anything to do with this, I would find it very weird. So it must be something external, right?
Yeah,
we don't know, man. We don't know. I'm not going to speculate, Let's see.
Definitely not going to speculate.
All right. So score predictions, Fortuna, quickly. I will start because you guys always want to bounce it back to me. I will say 3-0 to Ajax. Sahbi, you.
Away, right?
1-3.
Papimento?
2-5.
Whoa! I want to say 1-5 then. Okay, I was almost thinking the same, bro. 1-5, 1-5.
We're going to outscore everyone, but...
Yeah.